Hey, this is Greater Robert with Beamng.Drive, and today, in this video, we're gonna look at a mod called the Bangers and Demolition Derby mod pack, I think. And the there's a modded vehicle for pretty much every car in the game, so it would take forever to go through all of them, so I'm just going to pick out my favorites. And the first one that we're going to be starting off with is the Ibishu 200BX number 2 Derby. Number 2. And Japanese car has joined the American Derby. It costs $999,999. Well, I mean, I didn't know it cost that much to make a Demolition Derby car, you know. I just took a couple body panels off, but you know, guess not. So the first thing I noticed about this car, those wheels. It's like someone ripped that right off like a 70s car and just said, we can use these for Demolition Derby purposes, and just snapped them on there. And that seems kind of not very thought out, but the rest of the car seems like professional. Like this paint job, it's pretty professional. We got a number there, although it's not as big as I would think in real life. No headlights, none of that stuff. There is a radiator in there. These wheels, minimal wheels, none of that stuff. There's even a fire extinguisher in there. In the interior, there's no passenger seat or rear seat, which makes sense. So, shoot. It makes sense. This whole car just kind of makes sense with the way it's set up, except for those front wheels, though. Who has white walls on a Demolition Derby car? I mean, unless they're original to the car. But, so, the first thing that I noticed when driving this car, there's not much of a difference in the way it performs compared to other Beamng.Drive vehicles. I mean, it's pretty much like driving a base model Ibishu 200BX. It even has an automatic transmission. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna like slide it into the wall. See how that would do? Oh, maybe. Well, at least we don't have to look at that wheel anymore, right? At least this side looks like it fits in more. This side, yeah. But looking at the damage here, the roof held up pretty well. I'm guessing that's because of the roll cage. And can we still drive this? Yeah, we can. I mean, I don't know if I really want to drive it, because see how it's turning? That's no steering input whatsoever. And so this, I don't really feel like driving this car anymore. I mean, the damaged version. But what I'm thinking is maybe doing a reverse test into something. Well, yeah, as you can see, it just handles like a normal Ibishu 200BX. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna line it up here, and then I'm just gonna accelerate a little bit, and then stop, and then see how fast we can go in reverse into that wall. Alright, so we're about 40 miles per hour. Now it kind of looks like a Honda CRX, like you know that 80s Honda hatchback. I don't really pay attention to Japanese cars too much, but that's what it looks like right now. That is exactly what it looks like. But a little bit of spikiness here. That might just be Beamng.Drive, or that might be part of the roll cage or somewhat. You can see the roof held up pretty well. There is a little bump right there, and the hood kind of popped open a little bit. But other than that, I don't see too much that's weird, except for these two little spikes. But that's probably just Beamng.Drive. And driving there's only a very, very, very slight pull to the right. But driving it, this just looks ridiculous. Like I have a spiky car. Oh, pull! You making fun of my spiky car? Get the spiky car. And that crippled the car. But, yeah, no brakes at all. No brakes. I'm holding the... No, I don't have any brakes, apparently. I have... Parking brake... Actually, that makes sense. Parking brake probably was removed for Demolition Derby purposes. And, anyway, I think we've seen enough of this car, so moving on to the next car is the Grand Marshal. So as you can see, there's a lot of Demolition Derby versions for this car. And, but if I had to pick my favorite one, I would say that it's probably this one, because, it is just... Oh, 9999. I guess the author just put it in as random. And I cut myself off there. It is just... It looks like nobody even cared whether or not it was, how it looked at all. It seems like no one cares how this thing looks. And, if you notice, one of the really cool features of this mod is that when you spawn up a car, oftentimes they are slightly damaged, as if they've been in the Demolition Derby before. Like, you see that little bit on the hood right there, for example. And if you see, like, look at the windshield, look, it's kind of dented in there. And, it's just really, this mod is really well thought out. So, looking in there, once again, very stripped out. And driving this, once again, just feels like normal. The main thing with this mod is the visuals and the crashing physics. One thing I do like that it says on the roof, it says color! Because this is a very colorful car. I mean, not as colorful as some cars that I've seen, but it's pretty colorful. And I like how they painted it to look exactly like they stitched it together. So, a bit of a crash. That was... Wow. That was a bad crash. That was evil crash. And if you notice, the amount of roof bend there, really bad, because if you look in there, there's no roll cage. But there is no front end there anymore. Somehow the bumper's still intact. And I currently have a mod installed, which I'll do a video for at another time, that repairs your cars. I don't want to see, this car's so terribly beat up, how well this thing can repair it. And so far, I am impressed. Okay, I'll lift it up to make it a little bit easier. That is fantastic. That is astounding, honestly. Wow. Okay. I am impressed. Thoroughly impressed. Anyway, I think we've seen enough of this car. So, let's go on to the next one, which is going to be a Covet. And the reason that I kind of like this car is there's two reasons. One is you're never gonna see a tiny little car like this in a Demolition Derby. I mean, unless it's all tiny cars. That's so unfair. But the version I like is this one, because as you might have seen in the thumbnail, it's got an extra roof on the top. And I don't know why it has that. So, looking here, look at that. It's got an extra roof, which doesn't even make any sense. Maybe, you know what I think might have happened? It's like they had to meet a certain height qualification, so they just decided, we just gotta make this car taller, so they just slapped an extra miniature roof on there. And when you drive this car, it feels kind of weird, because you've got, it's more top heavy than a usual Covet. Also, the suspension, when you're driving, you can really see the suspension, and it kind of looks like it's braking a little bit. The way the wheels go in like that, it's like, maybe that's not good. But another thing about this car is very, like, professionally done. Like, if you can see there, it's got the little bars on the window, it's got a roll cage, it's got, like, all the same wheels, it's got, like, an extra bit on the hood right there. And so this is, like, a car, they just worked out really hard. You can see there's even, like, a little bit of the door cut off for some sort of reason, I presume. But now we're gonna crash this car at the top speed it can get, which is only like 90 miles per hour. And let's see what happens. Ooh. Ooh. Now it looks kind of like a tuk-tuk. You know, with like the wheel there. It looks exactly like a tuk-tuk. It's on fire now. It's not moving anymore. But I want to see. Can they untuk-tuk it? The answer is yes, they can. I mean, that's good. But I'm kind of through this car because it's kind of the only reason why I picked it was its height. So I am going to go to the next car, which is the Miramar. And unlike a lot of the other cars we've seen, this one, like, just looks more Demolition Derby ready. I mean, I don't know what it is that makes it look that way, but it just does, you know? And this is not the version that I pressed. What? What? This isn't... That's not right. I don't understand what that means, but okay. Did I just misclick, or is it just not working? Because it might have just been not working. Okay, it's just not working, I guess. Well, that is interesting. I guess we won't be looking at that version. I mean, I tested it, and it was working. So, it's not. That's one problem with this mod. Whoever made this mod, you're in big trouble. I'm gonna come over to your house, I'm just gonna smack you, and you're just gonna be like, what did I do? And I'm like, you made that mod. Okay, no, I'm not actually gonna do that. And now, this one. I really like the paint job. And by the way, the old Pessima, you probably saw that already. Yeah. I really like the paint job on this one. I love it, actually. Because you look at it, this paint job is a paint job meant for fear. And they call it the tire muncher. Because as you can see, this shark, he's eating that tire. And what's kind of interesting about this car as well is, you see this, the roll cage actually goes on the outside of the car as well. Which, I don't know if I've ever seen that. I mean, maybe someone else has. And if you have, just let me know in the comments. But I don't know. And, it's just interesting to me. And, but anyway, they left the grill on. I don't know why they would do that. I think these are the rally wheels and probably the rally suspension in the front. Okay. And, the interior is stripped out, like, majorly. Like, you look at this interior, there is nothing there. I mean, your gear shift lever, and for some reason, the thing that tells you what gear it's in, even though that's floating in midair. But there's nothing there. You can see the fuel tank inside, which is not what normally happens. But anyway, driving this car, once again, just kind of feels like driving any other old Pessima. Maybe a little bit faster because of the weight reduction. But I'm curious to know what happens when you flip it on its flip it upside down, because it has that didn't work. There is a difference though. This thing has suspension is like rock solid. Like, you go over bump, it's like bump, what bump? We go straight over. Like, look at this. Little to no suspension travel in the rear, and that's just very crazy to me. This car is a little bit tire squealy, and I feel like maybe slightly more prone to spinning out. But other than that, it's pretty average in most respects. It's what you expect out of a Demolition Derby car. And it just looks so funny. Like, if you sped this up, you would think that the car's leaning back from mass acceleration. But we're gonna crash this car into this wall at about 90, maybe. Yes, 90, 91. Whoa! It just hopped. It hopped. And you see, I don't notice. There's like this tiniest bit of deformation on the roof, but that roll cage is really doing its job. And if you were in there, you might survive. It's possible. And obviously, it's not moving anymore. But that is impressive. Maybe it has something to do with this top bar. I don't know, but maybe it does. Anyway, I'm going to try to flip this thing again, because as you saw, I didn't do it, really. So, I'm going to flip it again, and hopefully I'll flip it this time. Nope. I might just have to try again. And if this doesn't work, then I'm just not going to do it, because I say that this has already gone on a bit too long. Maybe what I'll do is I'll put wheel on. There we go. Yeah, I think that is what it's for. I think it's for when it flips, because you look at that. In a normal Pessima, the cabin would be smunched down a lot, but that's a smart idea. You know, you Demolition Derby guys out there, if you don't have this, you need one of these. Unless it's, like, really amazingly strong. In that case, you're probably going to have a fun time at a Demolition Derby. Now, next up is the Pigeon. And I think it's so funny that they made a derby version out of the Pigeon. My favorite one has got to be this one. Because as you can see, it's extremely expensive, and also it has an epic flame job, which is probably the most epic. Epicest? I don't know, is that a word? Probably not. Man, Great Rabbit, you making up words again. Man. But this thing is like, you can tell, this thing has been through a couple of fights before. Like, that front bumper is a little bit damaged. The engine's pouring out smoke. There's no glass. Well, is there glass? There's no glass. There's like an extra fuel tank. And you look at the back, once again, another great feature. The back is all bent up because it's obviously been in a couple fights before, and they're like, we're not going to bother fixing that. So, driving this thing is like driving the Pigeon, but a little bit faster, and only the slightest bit. Like, you might be able to pass 60. I doubt it, but you might. And it's not going to tip over because it has the stabilizers on it. And as you can see, this car is not made for the environment. This paint job, though, I think that this car deserves to win any Demolition Derby. It does spin out. It does do that. This car deserves to win any Demolition Derby. It sets its mind to. Because it's got this amazing paint job. And it's determined not to tip over. Because as you see there, it has the little wheels on the side, which are so cute! And you can see it's still spinning. The little wheel is still spinning. Wait, is it? Hold on a second. Nope. Yeah, saved it. Let me see. Is that little wheel still spinning? Yeah. The other one's spinning? Yeah. Those wheels are still spinning. So it's all good. Wheels are in working condition, and I don't want it on because this car does spin out very easily. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna crash it into this wall at as high of a speed as we can get. And I think I might throw some slow-mo on there. So just about ready. And I think I'm gonna get a dramatic camera angle there. So we're gonna have it like right here. So I'm really bad with the slow-mo. Alright, here we go, here we go. Moment of impact! Oh, that... that thing? I mean, we already knew the Pigeon wasn't gonna last long in a demolition derby. But this thing won't even last like a minute. Because that looks so funny. It's like, we've mini-sized the engine. It's smaller now. But does it still work? This, oh my goodness. It still works. It still works. That is just fantastic. I mean, of course it can't steer, but I mean, I can't really drive it, but it still works. It still puts power down. That is just fantastic. Oh, by the way, you might not survive in the interior. And it is, once again, stripped out to the barest extent. And, I think we're coming up on the last car here. And if so, it is by far, my favorite car of the whole dang mod. It's called the Piggy. It's called the Piggy. This car is a beautiful abomination. It is wonderful in every way. Look at it. Doesn't it make you smile with joy? I mean, look, it's a pig. It's a pig. Don't you love pigs? Because I sure love pigs. I love pigs more than anything. And you know what I like about this? The roll cage is blue. Also, these roll cages are shaped differently than the other ones. Because normally it's like a couple bars. But this one has extra reinforcing here to keep the driver intact. And an extra bar on the side here. Which is really just impressive. And once again, the back of this thing is so funny. Because it's just totally whacked out of shape. Right there, if you could see, I really have little to no clue what that says, but it says I think it's number 29. Number 29, you're my favorite. But you see, the bed is basically bent off the frame. And, driving this car is once again just like driving any other T-series. But I don't know how it would do in a crash test. Because it does have that roll cage with those extra little bars there. And so we're gonna hit this at about 90. It popped another wheelie. That's great. But yeah, that roll cage, man, it just works so well. And, not too much that's wrong here, really, to be honest. But there's one thing I'm curious about. When we click repair a vehicle, will it repair the rear end? And the answer is no. You want the pink piggy, you're getting the broken end. And I'm saying maybe we can bend it back into shape. Bend it. Oh, no. Stop moving. Bend it. Come on. Bend! No, it's not. It won't bend. Now it will. But that... Okay, yeah, nothing doing. And one more thing I'm curious about. If we back this up into a wall, will that get damaged, or will it just stay like that forever? Oh, and also one thing I am noticing, when I'm going in reverse, the roof kind of does a little bit of a jig. Okay, so it does get damaged, but not as easily. Anyway, we're just gonna smash this thing up one more time, and then that'll about do it. So, there we go. Really flying. So, until I make the next video, this has been Greater Rabbit, and